So welcome back to the channel. It's been a while since I've made a video, but there's a few updates. None on the Boxster. I'll just be clear now. It's still festering, sweating in the corner of the driveway, and yes, it's going to continue to do that while it's sub-zero temperatures outside, and while I'm not making any money from anything. So this is more to do with, I've hit 700 subscribers. I've been at 696 for so long, and then it would go to 698, 699, 697, 696, and then suddenly I look and it's at 700. That was weeks and weeks and weeks. It was at that, 4 below. But anyway, that's a milestone for me, I guess, which is great news. In other news, the new podcast has just gone live today, which is Monday the 24th of January, and our guest is none other than Lara, that Porsche Girl, direct from California. I'm not going to say too much about it because it'll be like a spoiler alert, but it's just gone live now. Search on any podcast platform, so Google, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, and search for Porsche Talk. I still want to change it to the P-Take, but anyway, really enjoyed the chat with her, and there's some good stuff that we go through, and she was very chatty, a great guest, and it's great to get to know somebody behind their outward media persona, and there's a lot to her, and we had to cut it short because we talked for kind of an hour and a half, and we were across 3 time zones as well. So a really great one. Please go and have a listen, and I'll post on Instagram some links and things like that. And the third thing is Classic Cars magazine. Now, I've been reading that for years, and they've got this Dream Drive section. It's a big article at the beginning, and I always used to I used to read about it and read it. What's wrong with me? I'm feeling really kind of not flat. Well, yeah, flat. I feel like I've got no energy. I'm playing football tonight, so I need to sort it out. But there's so many things going on today that I've got to do. I'm on my way to the hardware store and the petrol station to get some V-Power Natural Plus. But I've got to do all of these things, and I'm just a bit, not flustered, but just flat. Like I've got no energy. Anyway, Classic Cars magazine, they've got a Dream Drive section where someone writes in and says, these are my dream drives, and I want to drive this particular car because I've always wanted to. And I've been reading these for years. I mean, I'm talking years and years and years. Well, the magazine's been going for God knows how long, but I've been reading that magazine a really long time. Anyway, just before lockdown, obviously, I think I've told this story before, but I'll just quickly skim over it. I wrote in and I put my list down and all of that stuff, and then probably in October, a journalist messaged me and said, are you available at short notice? And I said yes, and he found a car that I said I'd really want to drive around the corner. The guy who owns it is around the corner. He kindly offered to let me drive it, and it was an absolute mint 1973 911E Targa, the 2.4 fuel injected. And the reason was I wanted to try a Targa was, go and read the article, it's out now, it's the March edition. And so I wanted to drive it because I wanted a Targa. I had a MGB convertible, I've got the Coupe 912, and is the Targa the best of all worlds? And also the fuel injection, I just wanted to experience reliability. Is that mechanical fuel injection as reliable as they say it is? Every time you fire it up, is it the same consistent experience? And what's the power delivery like? And it was great, but it didn't have the chaos and drama that comes with a carburetor car. It wasn't the smell, it wasn't the feeling of not quite in control kind of thing. It was all just really controlled and mechanical, I guess. But it was brilliant, don't get me wrong. I loved the car, and on the Targa side of it, it wasn't one or the other. It wasn't that it was best of both. It was kind of none, if that makes sense. But anyway, the experience was amazing. Now, the magazine came out, and I got a text from the journalist saying, oh, it's just hit the shelves. Oh, great, I'm in town, I'll walk through W. Smith and look at it. I look at it and I think, really? So, I don't know if you remember, but in the podcast that we did, Mark and I did with Lee Sibley, we talked about how people could say anything on social media. On YouTube, I could say anything, and it gets oxygen, and people see it, and people take photos and put them on Instagram, and it's not everyone with a camera and a phone thinks they're a photographer, and everyone who's got a blog thinks they're a journalist. But magazines, it's an all-day thing when you go to a shoot, and it's curated stuff, and there's quality control, and it goes through so many layers of editorial. And this magazine, which I still love, Phil Bell, you won't be listening to this or watching this, but you spelt my name wrong on the cover. It's great having your name on the cover of a magazine, but it wasn't even close. It wasn't even close. So I'll talk more about it on the podcast when I talk to Mark next, because we're going to have a guest on. I think we might have James from Auto Amateur on, so also a magazine guy, so we'll be able to have a good laugh about it. Anyway, and also I met yesterday for lunch, but we ended up having just coffee because we chatted for so long and forgot to order food and the kitchen closed. Paul from Engineering, and we had a great catch up. Great guy. Check out his stuff, check out his Instagram, check out the YouTube channel. He hasn't launched a lot of stuff yet. He's still in the process of lining things up, and I think a lot of it will come out very quickly and it'll be of very high quality. Anyway, check that out. And that's about it. And the rest of the time I've just been doing DIY. I've done some tiling. That was massively frustrating, which is why I'm on the way to the DIY store to buy some boards and buy some grout and buy some adhesive, because one of the showers started leaking. I've got to do all of that, and then there's just a lot of home admin to do. Then I've got to go and edit this video, and everything just feels a bit blur at the moment. Is it because it's January and it's cold? Because my wife was saying, why have you bought that car with the boxster? And also I need to buy a car. I'm going to go and see a Golf estate, believe it or not. A Golf Mark 6 estate. And just see if it's any good. But that's about it, really. There's no other update. So I want to pull into this petrol station. Anyway, thanks for watching, and listen out for the... Hang on. Actually, I'm going to drive straight through here, because I've got something else to say. I'll go straight to the DIY store and then come back here, which is the key on my car, because I can see the thingy, mobilize the light on. The key, it's been really flaky, the clicky button thing, remote, and it's not been unlocking it. And it's just, I have to use the key, and then it's really annoying. I have to get in and open that door if I've got a passenger, which I always have with my children. And then I changed the battery. And when I changed the battery, it didn't make any difference. In fact, it was more. Still worked every now and again. And I'm wondering if I've got a dud battery. I might have had that battery for a really long time. So if anyone's got any ideas, I want to change the battery again and just see what happens. Otherwise, if anyone thinks I've done something wrong, because it does intermittently work, but not nearly enough. So I'm going to put another battery in. Anyway, if anyone's got any ideas, or I've missed something, or I've not recalibrated it or something or other, then let me know. The light flickers quite brightly on there when I press it, so who's to know. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video and on the podcast. We've got some really cool guests coming up, and we've got cool guests. We've had Lee Sibley on, and we've had Lara, that Porsche Girl, on. So, like Mark said, we're in danger of being, gaining some credibility. Not yet, but who knows. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hit like, hit subscribe, keep on trucking to that 1,000 number, which I'm miles away from. But anyway, catch you on the next video.